Hey, how's it going? I got to thinking about some stuff, and it's kind of deep, and it's funny because I pulled a card from my body oracle deck, and the card that came out was the brain, and the subtitle is contemplate. Think things through, but only just enough. I love that. So I was thinking, and I wrote something, so I'm going to share that with you right now. Oh, please look at my sign. And opinion commentary. That's what I would like you to focus on today. Oh, I suppose I should go to the correct page. Maybe I should take the table too. I probably should have done all of this before I started. My bad. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. Gonna have to project my voice a little bit. Let me see here. Nope. I'm getting there. Okay, here we go. So here's the title. Jung, Canon, and Source. While watching Dolores Cannon videos where she talks about the discoveries made through the course of patients' therapy sessions, with their permission, she recounts details and the way her technique unearthed some of the most mind-blowing stuff I've ever heard. In hypnosis, in this case to specifically regress to past lives. That's why, I have to stop myself, because that's not true in every case. This is not part of the writing thing or what I'm reading to you, but the cases actually have mainly been, there was like two in particular, like one was trying to quit smoking and another person was trying to quit drinking. And then I know she did have another one where she specifically wanted to regress to a past life therapy. So that's 3 different cases though. Being that. Okay, so with the patient's permission, she recounts details and the way her technique unearthed some of the most mind-blowing stuff I've ever heard. In hypnosis, in this case, to specifically regress to past lives. For any of this to be at all credible, one has to accept a few things. Where's my pen? Like a word I didn't need at all. Okay, don't need that. That's just gonna mess me up later. And that needs just one more letter. And now I can't read it. Okay, there we go. To continue. Reincarnation, another higher self, once peeled away, what Cannon discovered was amazing, because it's clipped to a degree, the videos. The location of the patient is unknown to me. But one woman had an Essene who was a student alongside Jesus for a time. The woman had it. by which I mean she had it in her, like, this personality was unearthed through the hypnosis. I believe it was like a surprise. I don't think like the person, the reincarnated soul that they end up talking to, or that not reincarnated, but just this other soul. I'm just gonna go back to reading. But one woman had an Essene who was a student alongside Jesus for a time in her. I need to add that. He was inside of her head. I'm just going to put in her because I know what I mean. So, something else to be aware of for a skeptic. Fascinating. The higher self, that is an even further step into incredulity. What Cannon describes is the superconsciousness and intelligence normally silent and invisible, particularly to the individual it inhabits. Like, we are, for the most part, completely unaware that this presence exists inside of us. Pin that too. An exasperated, at times, voice from inside the person under hypnosis. That's like this exasperated elder, parent, or boss type energy. Annoyed because that surface self who went in to quit smoking and lies to both Dolores Cannon and the subconscious self about how well they're doing since they'd had a previous visit, that they were sent home with some prescriptive behaviors that was supposed to treat the inability to quit on their own. The lies revealed while the person's unaware they've been caught. Or I should say, the lies, it's there. The lies revealed while under the person's unaware they've been caught. I mean, I'm just going to diverge from the writing here for a second, just to say, can you imagine, like, your own higher self, your subconscious, like, you're all trying to lie. Maybe you're not all, I'm not going to tell myself that I'm sneaking a cigarette. There's no way yourself's not going to know that. I mean, maybe if you could get somebody to hit you with, like, I don't know, a hammer, like in between smokes so you don't, I don't know, like you can click your memory on and off. That seems extreme. So, but what ends up happening is the self ends up telling Cannon that she's lying about, like, oh yeah, I absolutely did the prescriptive behavior homework, and, you know, I cut down on my amount of cigarettes and just completely lied. And then the same thing with the alcoholic person, like, they're like lying to the hypnotist, but then the hypnotist is gonna break down all the inhibitions, and then the, what is the word? The, I guess, naked self that's under there with all of the upper layer bullcrap just sort of, it doesn't exist at this level. It's the straight dope, like the honest truth, and it is too. So let me get back into it. Sorry about that. Okay, so annoyed because that surface self who went in to quit smoking and lies to both Dolores and the subconscious self about how well they're doing since they'd had the previous visit that they were sent home with some prescriptions with prescriptive behaviors that was to treat the inability to quit on their own. The lies revealed while the patient's unaware they've been caught. I don't know how you can be so dumb, but I'm sorry to disparage this person that I don't know. But I do understand, like, addiction, and that's like completely lying to yourself about the situation. So I guess it all kind of tracks when you look at it like that. Where was I? It was comical to hear this person's self say that they'd had it with them. Well, that they'd had it with, themself. that they gave up on them or didn't care what happened. This is essentially that person talking about themselves. Or so I thought. I mean, it is, but there's more. I don't even care to delve into the layers between the person still so into their addiction and what I've already penetrated, because there were more layers under those where things got truly mind-blowing. Okay, what started to happen? The patterns that she found were the higher self was the same one in all of her clients. She found the same voice in men and women alike, regardless of the country of origin of the session. That's right. The same voice. It dealt with her and what it had to say only after her business had concluded. After that point, the higher self that she learned was omnipresent as it was in everyone, as in untapped in her fashion or not at all. I guess it's the same thing, but I mean, like, I guess I should say as in tapped in her fashion, because I want to say, yes, it's in the way that she does it, where you know about it, and it's also just happening anyway, whether you know about it or not, and no one's tapped it, and it's just still underlying, and, you know, to all appearances to you, not invisible, not even there. That was not part of the text, so let me get back to it. Okay, I'll read the last sentence. As in tapped in her fashion, or not at all. Yet the implication was that an entity, singular, dwells within each of us collectively. What? Yes, exactly what it sounds like. I am retelling because I'm relating what I saw her relating to audience. And by her, I mean Dolores Cannon. So there's that bit, which, think about it, a consciousness that's underlying thoughts and awareness. That's nuts. But wait, there's more. This subconscious that seems to be universal and gets frustrated with us for our moral failings, it has a name, and even occasionally refers to itself in the third person, sounding almost subservient to itself, rather than sounding that weird, arrogant way people do when they refer to themselves. Imperious. This higher self instead sounds a bit in awe. The name it calls itself, and also talks of as if it's remote from itself, looking worshipfully on, is Source. That's right, I said Source, which may ring familiar to those of us familiar with the many names for God. Source, as in the source of all things, the source material from whence all there is sprung from. The creator of all may not look the way we imagine. It is, in fact, not a being we can imagine. The energy of Source is legendary for being hard for human eyes to directly gaze upon, whether it's because we can't compute its image or because nothing like it regularly appears in our world. I don't know. Or, or if it's that we're simply incapacitated by mere proximity to the vibration of Source energy. No wonder. The vibe of creation has been known to generate big bangs. At some point while watching YouTubes on Carl Jung and marveling at his comfort with aligning psychology with spirituality, I was never really a student of his work or biography for that matter, yet through fragmented views, through fragmented views I picked up on, gosh, where's the I? I picked up on his acceptance anyway. I picked up on his acceptance. Anyway, before I forget, I came across Jung referring to Source in the same context as Cannon's when and where she came across Source herself. It made me wonder if hypnotherapy was amongst his treatments, and when I checked, it seems it was, but he had given it up because he felt the therapist could become too influential or some nonsense. It's a bit annoying because it suggests two things: that he either gave up hypnotherapy before he came upon Source, or that he did encounter Source and was so overwhelmed by the omniscience of Source in his patience and the idea hitting him that this Source was a manifestation of God by definition on a micro level, layered beneath the awareness of all that very omniscience, or layered beneath the awareness of all of us. I mean, that's what makes it omniscience. It's everywhere. It's the same thing in everybody else that it is in you. I know I didn't coordinate that. I'm off the book now. But I know I didn't coordinate that. Not consciously. And these are not religious people that I'm talking about here. They're not like looking for God. They're not priests and such. One's a psychologist and one's a hypnotherapist. Neither of those have a clerical aspect to the title. Anyway, I'm almost done here. So, Jung gave up the hypnotherapy because he felt he might unduly influence patients? Or was he made uncomfortably aware of whom was being influenced? Unaware of it until the discovery of Source and the discovery of its nature. So I may have a little to add to that when I transcribe and post that. but I definitely wanted to share it. And so it's a lot to think about. Would you not agree? That's why it's hilarious to me that this card came up. And I was definitely noticing the two hemispheres, because it's kind of exactly what I was talking about, where the one person with the one brain goes in, but it's of two minds to its own self. And, it's like the real self is hiding. It was hiding from the outer world, where there's a Dolores Cannon, where you're deceiving the person that you went to for treatment. It's all part of it. It's all part of the experience for everyone involved. Just to be clear, like, none of this is happening by accident, which is also mind-blowing. Love it. So, the mind of this person, the singular human, where's my indicator? Ooh, do not fall off of there. Please do not fall off of there. There it is. I asked you not to do that. Oh, you know what? I know what the problem is. It's still plugged in. That always takes away stability. Okay, so what was I babbling about? Oh, yes. The singular person that is between the outer world and the Dolores Canyon has, until the Dolores Canyon makes them aware of it, they have this subconscious that does, according to her, try to talk to us all of the time and try to get us on our right tracks and into our right minds, and we just do what we want. And so it gets frustrated with us. Source is like, well, I don't want to waste my breath anymore. But what blows my mind is Source is also us. Like, we're it. We're little, like, shavings that are sort of disconnected from the original branch, I guess you could say, enough that we forget ourselves and think, like, we know we're abusing this body that we're so, fortunate to have, that we just have to take care of it a little, and it does wonders for us, and we're just all, I have no room to talk, but, I did quit the smoking and the drinking like years ago, working on the other things. But when we just do things to ourselves that we know are destructive to ourselves, that's kind of an insult to Source. But God, let me fold my mind into another knot. It's Source itself. So get as mad as you want, Source. But you're I, me, you, everyone, it. It's very convoluted, which is what Source delivered a bunch of information. Remember when I said that Source would wait until Cannon completed her business with the patient before it's, started giving her its business? Not the business. But they did have business to conduct, and what it turned out to be was, it channeled to her the content of several books. And the first one, the title of it, I guess, sort of became the name of the entire series, which is The Convoluted Universe. And that is some convoluted universe right there. Like, think of the omniscient Source underlying all of our consciousnesses, every being, not just humans, every being. And we act on its behalf. Like, you could say that we're the hand of God, but it's on us to behave as God intends. Like, we can become addicted to alcohol or cigarettes or heroin, like whatever, or food, shut up, whatever it is. And it's kind of like the lesson, definitely, like living with our situations and going through the consequences and remedying what we can. And it's all in education. Like, it's all something that we're meant to derive something from and ingest and think about and contemplate and extrapolate from and make, connect the dots and make sense of. And so, I don't know, like, that's convoluted to me. Like, we are like a micro universe of the universe. That, I think, is a 100% true statement. You could say we all contain legions, and genetically that would be true, because I think that's where we keep all that stuff, is in the genes. Some of it makes its way to our mind so we can think about it and talk about it, but that source material lives in our genes. So I just thought that was so interesting. I did pull some cards, and I just want to see what they have to say. Whoa, no more flip. Ah! When your phone gets all hammered before you start using it, I'm almost done. You can just get it together. So I have some crystal cards here, and the first one is citrine, and it's that beautiful sort of light through whiskey amber colored, which I don't know if you think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. It's like a sun up or sundown type color. So the card reads, the subtitle's illusion, and the card reads, everything you can imagine is real. Okay, so when you think about what I just said, our existence in this body that we're sharing with Source, in the world that Source made, in the bodies that Source created, that we replicate, and the everything around us that was created from the source material by the source material to make source material avatars to live in the creations that Source made of itself in the little convoluted universe. But essentially, like, on the whole, like an illusion, because say Source just retracted all of the tentacles and tendrils of itself, then it would just be like one thing. So what it's done is created, in a way, a series of illusions and fictions and scenarios to play out in eons or moments, whatever it wants to get out of the experience. That's what it's doing. But I'm not saying it's delusional, but I'm saying it's created an illusionary world to allow itself to act out these scenarios. Okay, and so the next card is Lapis Lazuli, or Lapis Lazuli, and the subtitle is Open. I'll give you a look at it. Oh, I just wanted to say, when I was laying these out earlier, I was saying how pretty I think this is, and I went to hold up the card to the light so the light could shine through it, through the card. Talk about illusions. Okay, back to Lapis Lazuli. Open is the subtitle, and it reads, oh my goodness, I can't see that. It reads, the only way to find true happiness is to risk being completely cut open. I mean, what was Dolores Cannon doing there? Like a non-surgical opening of these people. A quantum opening, if you will. Because I also thought that discovering, and like the source was always there, I would think, but like Cannon and I, and Jung too, apparently all came across it, all discovered it, and like our experience of it has illustrated that it's more than just ourselves talking to ourselves. It's more like source in ourselves talking to itself. More convoluted. Did I read it? The only way to find true happiness is to risk being cut completely open. Yeah, I think in every manifestation of itself that we are, yeah, it's shavings. Like I said earlier, we are cuts from the original, we're chips off the old block, off the old branch. Oh my gosh, don't you love it when you scratch an itch and you want to do something like a dog and kick your leg? Oh my God, yes, thank you so much. Okay, I have to stop. It feels too good. Okay, so the next card is Black Orloff Diamond. And here's what that looks like. That's an interesting cut. It looks like it's wearing some sort of little top piece, or, I want to say hat, but that's ridiculous, Rocks. Don't wear hats. So it's it's like part of the diamond. It's just a weird cut to me, like unfinished. Like that top part was a mistake that got left on or something. But what do I know? So the subtitle on this card is Misfortune. And it reads, when the soul suffers too much, it develops a taste for misfortune. Okay, so in light of the people that were obviously, like, struggling to, like, stop doing something addictive that's harmful to the self, to the physical self, like I was talking about, these bodies that we have, that I really feel like it's less trouble to just stay healthy and not mess it all up than all of the elaborate trouble we go through to screw up our bodies. Like the drinking and the drugging and the smoking of everything and the over whatevering that we're doing physically to our bodies. That it's unfortunate if we develop a taste for it, so to speak. But I think that's kind of what addiction is you develop a taste for something, and then the next thing you know, you're living in misfortune because you're an addict, and you're out of balance because you're over-focusing on one thing, and it's not a good thing for you. It's destructive to your form and your life, and it's just not a good idea. So it becomes, depending on the substance and the situation, it can become a real problem and a difficulty to extricate ourselves from. And I think everyone that could look at this video can find an area in their life or somewhere, like maybe not their life personally, but someone they related to or extended family, whatever. There's a lot of misfortune around, like you can't miss it. So if it's not your own, you still might be familiar with it from, witnessing it elsewhere. Okay, so the next card is Selenite. Whee! Here's some right here. I love my rocks. And so, the subtitle on this card is Magic. And it reads, those who don't believe in magic will never find it. Can you believe in the source material, higher self, self? It's all part of it. It's all the same thing. It's like Source, I know it's not like physically this way or even like any other way, but my brain is giving me a picture of what it looks like to manifest from source. Or I mean, I can't, if you look at it that way, I can't really separate myself from it. I'm it, it's me. You're it, you're me. You're it, it's you, it's me. It's convoluted. Fairy godparents. And that's kind of like extraordinary. Reproduce those features outside of your body. Demonstrate what I'm talking to. Please, I dare you. I'd like to see that happen. Like, actually happen. That would be magical. That would be conjuring up some kind of trick, let me tell you. I mean, I'd be impressed if you could demonstrate this. So anyway, I'm just going to move on to the next card because I'm getting silly. Oh, and my shoulder hurts. So the final card is Agate, and this is a beautiful one. My goodness. It looks like you could go right walking up through it. It's like one of those Acme stick-on hole signs where sometimes it's just a flat surface and sometimes you're all go right down in it. So the subtitle on this is Fresh Start. And it reads as long as I am breathing, in my eyes, I'm just beginning. Kind of like that. Because it almost is like it doesn't matter what you just did. If it wasn't perfect or it went completely wrong or south or whatever, each inhalation is a new breath. It's a new beginning. Like, it's a new reset. You might still be in a mess, but you have the opportunity to move that slider bar from the negative column over to the light, or the lighter column, the dark column, from the dark column to the light column. Because, not saying that, like, you can't spend some time in the dark column, but for me, just it's been my experience that it's more pleasanter in the lighter column. So I can get on board with that new breath, new inhalation every day being, every moment being a new beginning. And I think that actually kind of meshes well with what else I said, because I didn't finish what I was saying about source. The way I see it is like you could almost pluck it from the air, or pluck it from the wall, or pluck it from a tree. It's everything. Everything is it. Like, the source material is what everything is. So if it didn't go well, take in a new breath, gain a new perspective right then and there, because you can just do that too. You can decide to do that. And when you change your mind, you change your world. If there's a whole bunch of us focusing on the same thing and making the change of mind while in that focus, then that thing is going to change, you know, because that's what really makes change happen, like makes it what births it is not screaming and yelling and protesting and making big demonstrations. Nothing wrong with those are great. We need to do that. We need to put voice to what we want to say, and sometimes that involves more physical demonstration. But what I feel also works, and in a different possibly deeper way, because it's not just on a different level, it's a whole different vibe with the same end goal, and that is to, on a one-to-one basis, integrate with people, and then from there, one hopes things improve, because you gain a collective desire for that change, because like minds are gathering together to generate the force, the vibration of change, of everyone wanting it to happen, of everyone being motivated to make it happen. Okay, I think I made my point. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore, so thank you and good night.